Hello, and welcome to another episode of Shampoo and Booze. This is episode number 50 at shampooandbooze.com.
And this podcast, just so I can let myself remember,
Yes,
is a podcast about our adventures in doing Airbnb rentals, or just vacation is rentals, but mainly just through Airbnb.
right.
And a part of that, the big story recently is us renovating a second property to turn into an Airbnb. So we've been documenting that process.
Yes.
Because anyone that's done a renovation knows it's a process.
It's a process.
Yeah.
It's time. It's money.
It's not like those shows on TV where they get it done in 2 days. But yeah, so we haven't done a podcast in a small handful of weeks, mainly because we haven't had a whole lot to its report.
right.
So where we live, January and February are slow months.
For rentals, yeah.
Yeah, you know, I mean, some people, they're fully booked 12 months a year. Other people might understand in a vacation area, there are parts
They're
of the
seasons,
year.
yeah.
Right. So we're in the slow season. So our farmhouse, our current age rental's just been slow. We're happy when we make even $1,000 a month
Yeah.
versus $4,000 and $5,000, which is what we make in the busy
Right.
season. Now, since we last recorded, we have done quite a bit on the renovation of what we call our
The river house.
a river house. And you can go to our blog at shampooandbooze.com and you can see the new photos that we're going to put up. So this is what's happened. We had a rough-in inspection.
Which is a big deal.
So that means the county approved all the electric in the walls, the HVAC,
Yeah.
the plumbing. We got all that. Then we insulated.
Yes.
And we didn't fool around.
We had to get the insulation also
Right.
inspected.
But I mean, we didn't fool around. Like, we didn't just go and get some R12 and throw it in the walls.
This is like a serious job.
We actually hired a guy, and he did blow-in insulation. It's not the foam, just the blow-in loose insulation. So it looks beautiful. You'll see the photos where they put this, it's mesh on the wall.
Yeah.
And they blow it in, and then when you go in there, it's like soundproof.
I mean,
And
it
it's-
is like, look, that house, it was built in 1973, and it had single pane windows. Did the walls even have insulation? It was like
Yeah.
R10 insulation.
It was just,
It was like nothing.
and some of it had gotten wet at some point, and it was just kind of
awful.
moldy. Anyway, and that's just a choice we make. That's the kind of unglamorous stuff that happens in a renovation. The renters won't ever know that it's there,
Right.
other than the fact that the house will be easier and cheaper to
Heat and cool.
keep and cool.
That's
Yeah.
the whole point, is like the bills will be lower.
and the rooms will all be soundproof. So that was a
Right.
big deal. We had that inspected. Great. And now we're just finishing the sheetrock.
Another huge, the entire
Right.
house has to be
There's a guy right now who is mudding
Yeah,
the walls.
it's a huge
and,
job.
And it's a good thing. So I would say we are at the end of step 2.
Stage 2.
And we're just beginning stage 3. So it's for us, stage 1 was demolition
Yep.
and fixing anything that was wrong in the walls,
Yeah.
and adding on to the house. We
Yeah.
added 600 square feet or something.
Right.
So that was into stage 2. Stage 1. Stage 2 was doing all the trades:
Yep.
electric, plumbing,
HVAC.
HVAC, insulation, sheetrock.
All that
So now when you go in, it looks like a house. It's starting
looks like a
to look like a house where
Yeah.
the walls are all white.
Yeah.
And now stage 3, which we're beginning on, is we need to do the floors.
When you say do the floors, we need to lay floor
Right.
down. Upstairs is done.
Right.
The entire downstairs floor has to be laid.
to get the wood floors down, we need to paint, and then it's finish work, and that's all the trim around the windows and baseboards, and put in vanities and finish lights, and that kind of
Cabinets
thing. Right.
or whatever, countertops for the kitchen.
Very exciting.
I mean, that's the fun part, because then you're like almost done.
And I just wanted to mention this. Anyone that already has an Airbnb knows it's pretty cool because you're making money, or
Yeah.
at least you should be, and it feels really good because once you have the rental set up.
Right.
I mean, I don't want to say it feels like free money, but it definitely is really nice because all the work has been done up front,
right.
and now you're just kind of maintaining it.
You're maintaining it. You're cleaning it. You're making sure everything's working.
Yeah.
That's it. It's so much easier than a renovation.
And maybe there are people, it's like us that have a rental, and they're like, well, if one's good, why not two, you know? And then,
right.
But
and
the thing is, and maybe we're investing more than we should, but we're choosing to invest a lot of money in this house, and it's stressful, you know?
Yeah, it's stressful. It's a lot of, okay, the number one stress is money.
It's always money.
It's always the money.
Yep.
The number two stress is the details of making sure everything's done right, making sure it gets inspected, making sure it passes inspection, making sure they're doing it the way you want it. Like all those things, like you've been dealing with that today with like dealing with this contractor and this guy's busy, this guy's not. Yeah. It's just like so many like little, oh, did you buy the right size? This, that, and the other thing. Yep. It's like, oh God. I mean, it's a whole house. It's not just like a little apartment in the basement. It's like, this is a whole thing.
But the dream, and let's just be clear though, this is our third house as we've done. This is the fastest we've ever done it.
It's the fastest.
We started October 20th doing the renovation.
Right.
We hope to be done by end of March. So really, or into April. I mean, that could change, but that seems to be. So it's really like 6 or 7 months of work, which is amazing to us to redo a whole house.
It's amazing to us.
It's taken us 3 years.
The farmhouse took us 3 years. The farmhouse took us 3 years, and that sounds crazy, but I mean, we didn't borrow any money. We did it with essentially one person.
Yep.
And there were times where we took several months off because we were like, we don't have money. Like and we get super ambitious. We're like, it's not just like, oh, let's put like better floors in or like refinish the floors. We're like, let's take this wall down. Let's add these windows. Let's redo all the bathrooms. Let's redo the entire kitchen. Like it just, because it's like you want it to be the way you want it to be,
And, a lot of that stuff, we do for ourselves. First and foremost, and then it's good for the people who rent.
I mean, when you say do it for ourselves, it's because we want to, it is a business, it's not a house we're living in, but we want to be able to present it and feel confident and excited.
Well, I think we've talked about this before. No one sees inside the walls.
Right,
so,
sure.
People always say, well, you just cover it up.
You didn't need to do that, yeah.
Everything in the walls is good now. There's no
it's the
damage.
best.
There's no bad wiring.
Exactly.
There's no rot. There's no bad insulation. A renter would never see that stuff. So when I say we do it, it's for us. That's our asset, and we chose to go the extra mile to make that right.
And the issue with covering stuff up like that, quick and cheap, is that stuff comes back to haunt you if you don't do it. Because, if there's, like you said, wet fiberglass insulation back there, and you're like, that stuff's gonna come through the wall at some point. Yeah. It's gonna show up. You're gonna see it.
Now, just to be clear, it wasn't wet then. There have been leaks in that house previously that they fixed.
Right.
It ruined the insulation there, where really, it's once it gets wet and starts to crumple, then it's no good.
Yeah, it's not working.
There definitely wasn't anything wet at now, because then it would have been really bad.
Yeah.
But that's good. Anyway, and then the other thing we're doing too is the furnishing. We're starting to get it ready, and we've talked about that. We're gathering and scavenging really awesome furniture and furnishing for cheap.
Yeah.
Kitchen stuff and books and
beds, shelves, everything.
Like when we finally get done and can start bringing everything over, it's going to be like Christmas time, because we've been gathering stuff for the past 6+ months.
Yeah.
There's a whole pile.
It's all in our bedroom.
Yeah.
Like we look at it every day, but there's nowhere else to put it. So.
Yeah. So it's exciting. And, I'm a list guy, so I love lists, multiple lists. So I still have a lot of lists of stuff to do.
Yes.
So much finishing work has to be done. But it's going to be good, and you just kind of start banging it out,
Yep.
Bit by bit. Oh, and you can see these photos over at the blog, so if you want to see...
The stage we're at right now.
And if you've been doing a renovation or have done one, it's before, we'd love to hear your process, because everyone has funny stories.
I mean...
They're funny afterwards.
They're funny. They're not funny right now. It's nice to know we're not the only ones that do this, because sometimes when you're right in the middle of it and you're just like, why? Why am I doing it?
I mean, why is the goal is, it's just a number. $40,000 to $50,000 a year. That's what we should make on this house.
Every year.
And once it's done.
Exactly.
So, okay, the farmhouse, our current rental, like I said, it was slow. It's been slow. In January... we had a group come in for a weekend. That was fine. And then right at the end of the month, we had a last minute booking, which is great. That put us over the $1,000 a month. That, that's a minimum that I like to make.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in February, we have one renter who's staying right now.
Yes,
we just got a second one, and that will make us $1,000.
Right.
There's still some time in February. We still could get another booking, but we've at least made a minimum.
Right.
The good news is, spring is just around the corner, and that means bookings are now coming in. So we've had 25 nights booked for the future in 2017.
So what we see starting to happen is, this is what I noticed. Some people, this is what I've heard from one of my friends is a wedding planner. People get engaged during the holidays, during Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's. Then they tell everyone when they're getting married and where they're getting married, and people are starting to book those spring and summer and fall weekends. Because we see these weekends way ahead of time, and we're like, why is that getting booked? Oh, because their best friend's wedding is happening. So we're seeing that start to happen.
Yeah. And, and people also, they're starting to realize that a winter's going to be gone soon, and they want to start planning spring vacation for their families, and that's what we love. We actually had a week booked, which we love the whole weeks.
Yep.
So that's good. I think this happened a year ago. This will be our third year of being full-time Airbnb hosts.
Yep.
And I think this happens to me every year. About this time, our calendar still feels really empty.
Yeah.
I mean, really, we only have 30 nights booked for all 2017.
Yeah.
Which, and our goal is 200. So I feel like, where's all the people?
Yeah.
But I forget, as soon as March hits is when we start getting bookings.
Booked. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you get a little worried, like on these slow, like January and February, you're like, I can't believe it. But then it just really starts to pick up.
Yeah. One thing though is, and again, anyone that lives in an area where people do it's weddings.
Yes.
We just got a request. Someone wrote actually through its VRBO and was like, I love your house and the property. It'd be great to have a wedding there. Can I go ahead and book and have my wedding at your house? And I write back of absolutely not. I mean, that a listing that it's replying from is for 6 people to have a stay.
A rental, yeah.
Not
a weekend stay.
This isn't where you can rent for, whatever, $600 and have a wedding with 50 plus people.
Right.
So, we did make another website, like a private, or a personal website where we're marketing it as a wedding venue.
Right.
But we're charging $2,000
for a weekend.
For 2 nights.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I just sent her that link, and then I never heard back.
Well, yeah. And you know why you didn't hear back? Because they don't want to pay $2,000. Right. They want to pay $600.
So that's a question I have for anyone out there that might be in this, have thought about this. Can you on Airbnb have 2 listings for the same property? Just
for different reasons.
In different contexts.
Yeah.
So we have the one we have now, 6 people come stay.
For the weekend or the week or whatever.
Can we have another is listing for that same property, but now it's $2,000 for 2 nights.
And it's
a wedding.
It's got different rules,
right.
basically. And I've seen other people do it. When we talked to Trisha from California, she said she had friends who did that with their property. Where, sometimes it's like, if a couple wants to stay, it's this much for this, whatever. If you want to have a wedding, it's X dollars, and they have a listing like that. And there's a little thing, because I was kind of trying to research it, where it says appropriate for events,
right? And
you can check that box.
Really?
So, and what you do is you put the guests up to the highest you can on Airbnb, like 16 guests, or because you're trying to show it can't actually sleep that many, but that many can attend. It would be like up to 50. And then you have very specific rules in your house.
Now, is that
rules.
on a different
listing?
A listing?
Yeah.
For the same property?
I'm pretty sure
Okay.
it's like they have like the little cottage you can stay in for the weekend, and then they're like, if you want to rent it as like a venue, it's this whole other thing.
Because and that's my other question too. Do young brides and grooms look on Airbnb for
wedding venues?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah.
And we're trying to figure that out because we want people to find our place for that, and not be like, yeah, we're going to rent it for the weekend and have a wedding.
Yeah, because I don't have a lot of hope that someone's going to run across our private, or not private,
on its own,
but just its own URL. Like,
and the reason we made that URL was for this exact purpose, where the lady was like, we want it. We're like, great, here's our wedding, like whole thing. And then she's like, oh, I don't want to pay that much. But the thing about wedding venues too is like, even in the country, I mean, they cost a lot of money. So you're like,
yeah.
$2,000 isn't bad. But the other part of it is that like we're providing the venue, the space, and the cleanup.
Yeah.
But that's all we're providing.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the big thing, is just you're willing to eat the wear and tear.
Right. They're paying for the wear and tear. Yeah. That's what they're paying for.
I don't blame people trying to, I mean, we're the
most
frugalest people in the world.
We literally have not gotten married.
Because we would rather spend our money on property than
I mean,
on a
look,
wedding,
if we got married, it'd be in our backyard. But
yeah.
It's funny running into people who want to be frugal, but then when you're like, well...
But, like on this podcast, we haven't really talked about goals for 2017. And, we don't really... I mean, I think that's one of the goals that I have, is to see if we can't rent the property out as a wedding venue.
If we can.
Right. I mean, if it's possible to.
Yeah.
So we need to take more steps, and that is really... I mean, maybe we even call Airbnb. I think because we're super hosts.
We should call and just see, like, what's the, what's the protocol for that. I mean, the other thing, too, is I don't want to put in jeopardy our property, where if they're like, you're not allowed to do this.
Of course, right.
I don't want to, like, get in trouble with them.
Right.
So, yeah.
I mean, the other thing to do that would be really easy, which I would tell anybody new, would be to, why don't you... research it. Go on Airbnb and type in, I don't know, would you type in wedding?
Or event venue or something? Like,
is there a drop-down menu that might have that as a choice? So those are things we need to learn. But if anyone's hearing this and knows about this...
Is anyone out there?
We would love to get an email
I would love to know more.
Yeah.
If you've had experience either renting one as an event venue or, doing it yourselves.
The next several months will be exciting. I think in April will be really exciting, and that is our current rental will be starting to be super booked. We'll start generating cash, which we love and need, and then the renovation should be winding down, and we need to get that thing up.
It's just got to get
ASAP.
rented. Exactly.
That's the interesting thing about doing a renovation like this. We have to wait till it's completely done and furnished before we can take pictures and list it. I would love to have,
like a listing up now.
How would that happen? Yeah. Like put a listing
We don't have
up
a kitchen.
and then have start dates for whatever, May 1st.
Now, look, you could... Well, it's so hard because the outside of the house is not painted. So you're like, it looks like a construction zone.
Right.
And what I was thinking is, because we have a friend who is a professional photographer who took photos of the farmhouse, I think what I'm going to do is, once it's furnished and stuff, I have a wide angle lens, and I'm just going to be like taking the best pictures I can, get it listed, and then be like, okay, now you come in. Like, I need to start, like, getting this rented, but then, you know, there's some things that you can do. You know, or like a lot of people on Airbnb take great photos, like with the panorama on their phone.
Sure.
You know, you're like,
yeah, no,
totally
I
doable.
think we take great pictures, but
yeah,
but I hear you. If we can get a good deal, it's nice to have like a pro come in and take photos.
Yeah, and especially if you have a friend that you can barter with or something like that, because she's a wedding photographer, so she's like pro. But yeah, I'm excited. Look, the furnishing and the putting the curtains up, I mean, I'm like, I can't wait to do that, because that means we're almost done. That means we can, like, get this thing going, you know. That's the easy, fun part, you know.
Cool. Well, this is going to be a short one. That's it for today.
You can check out our blog at shampooandbooze.com for everything we talked about and to join the conversation. You can leave a question or a comment on our voicemail line. The phone number is 540-407-8486. You can subscribe to us through iTunes or through YouTube so you always get the latest episode. You can listen to our other podcast where we talk about how we sell stuff online to fund our renovations, and that's at scavengerlife.com. Bye.
See ya.